The mecca for Southern short track racing is Gresham Motorsports Park in Jefferson, Georgia. Tonight, the stars and the cars of the Southern Super Series will tackle this tough half mile. It'll be 125 grueling laps, so grab a burger, settle in, and hang on. Short track racing at its best from Gresham starts now. And welcome to Gresham Motorsports Park. We're in Jefferson, Georgia for part of the Gresham Motorsports Park Summer Series. Tonight, it's the Sunoco 125 presented by Schoenfeld Headers, part of the Southern Super Series of super late model racing. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Ken Schrader is alongside. Lenny Baticki will have our coverage down on pit road. Super late models, fast race cars, a terrific field of stars ready to do battle. Let's talk to tonight's pole sitter. Here's Lenny.
The driver of the number 112, Augie Grill from Birmingham, Alabama, is the pole sitter. Augie, you got the advantage now. How do you keep it for 125 laps?
Hopefully the car will just stay like it was in practice, and I was pretty happy with it in practice. And maybe we can stay out of trouble and stay out front and be better than the rest of them at the end.
Bubba Pollard, Daniel Hemrick, a lot of them back there. Who worries you the most?
All of them are pretty tough. There's 3 or 4 behind me right here pretty close that I'm not really worried about, but they'll be tough at the end of the race. And like I said, hopefully we did our homework and our car will be a little better than ours at the end.
Ken Schrader, this is a great new late model series, just year 2. Bubba Pollard, a name we're familiar with, leading the points tip.
Well, it looks like everyone in the Southeast has really gotten behind this series and following it. And it is the most competitive series that we have down in the Southeast right now.
Earlier in the summer, we showed you pro late models from Gresham Motorsports Park. These super late models are even faster.
Oh, yeah, they got a little more power. Same basic car, but more engine. That just gets them bigger problem when they get to the turn because they've got more mile an hour when they get there.
Our starting lineup presented by Sunoco Racing, fuel used around the world by more sanctioning bodies, tracks, racers, and engine builders than all other racing gasoline combined. Met Augie Grill, the pole sitter, Bubba Pollard alongside second row young Anderson Bowen, the Cooper Creek 29 veteran TJ Reed in the 41 qualifying 4th quick. There's Mike Cope's son Travis in the Best Line Lubricants 26C. Casey Smith in the 99 will line up in 6th spot. Daniel Hemrick, a young guy who resides up in the Charlotte area. Ken?
Well, there's a lot of good young talent in this series and a lot of guys that we see. Kyle Grissom, son of former Grand National champion Steve Grissom.
David Odell will line up in the 10th spot of the 75. You got Casey Roderick, a really strong contender with Donnie Wilson starting 12th in the 2W. Back to the next row. We go to the 7th row. Spencer Waters in the 5W. Richie's son, Brady Boswell, in the 2B. Will start in 14th position. Gus Dean in the 56. And Harrison Burton, Jeff's son, will start in the 12 car back in the 16th position. Move back a little further. Landon Kling, Dalton Grindle's got a lot of history and a lot of success in these cars. And the rest of our Sunoco starting lineup for you as we get set for 125 laps of action. Now, Ken, last time we were here, 100 laps. Didn't want to stop. Tonight, though, a competition yellow.
Oh, definitely. You're going to want to do everything you can in that competition yellow. If they're going to give you 2 tires, you'll take them. If they'd give you 6, you'd take them. You know, I mean, you want every advantage you could get.
A lot of our Replay XD onboard looks will be available to you tonight. Joe Ryan Osborne will carry one of our cameras. Dalton Grindle in the 23 will have one of our cameras. He lines up behind Harrison Burton there in the 12 car. Russell Fleeman in the 98. We honored his dad Larry, his late dad Larry, in our first telecast of the season. Daniel Hemrick in the 98. I'm going to keep my eye on Hemrick here tonight.
Oh, I'll tell you what. It's too hard to pick. There's so many good cars here. I mean, you got a half a dozen up front. You know we're going to be tough. But a lot of times someone gets working and they can come from pretty deep in the field.
The Alabama 200 on board from Replay XD. Pole sitter Augie Grill, Frankie's son, legendary car builder in the sport. Used to work with Neil Bonnet back in the day. Ready to go. Green flag is in the air at Gresham. Glad to have you with us, and we are underway.
I'll tell you what. It's just such a beautiful racetrack. Multi-grooved right off the bat. Top and the bottom. You see 2 wide all the way around there. It's beautiful facility. Bubba
Pollard in the Jegs.com machine off to the early lead. That's the black 26 car. Augie Grill tucks into 2nd spot. The 41 of TJ Reed is 3rd. Young Anderson Bowen in 4th. Let's get on board. Augie Grill, the Alabama 200 26B onboard camera. Our friends at Replay XD providing these great looks. Maybe it's a little advantage to be on the outside in the early laps.
Well, what the disadvantage to being on the inside is when you come up off the turn, you really want to let your car go all the way to the wall. He's having to keep it tied down a little bit, Augie is, to keep from running into Bubba. So That's kind of hurts on that inside there, but he's close, that's for sure.
Pollard is your leader in the early going. TJ Reed starting to sniff second spot on the inside. That's Augie Grill right behind the leader in that red 112 car. Great battle up front.
You know, it's amazing to think that when something happens in front of someone and someone's on you like that we don't wreck every friggin' lap.
Daniel Hemrick in the 98. That's the blue machine with the white striping making a pass for position. Here's Grill on the bottom, still trying to get around Bubba Pollard. The two front row starters nose to tail over in 3.
Very much tire management right off the bat. You have to be thinking about the whole race. They don't even really know what they have yet. They're still feeling their cars out. You got to run probably 20 laps to really know which way your car is going to go.
Augie Grill gunning for the lead over in turn 3. This time by, looks like he's got, a little sideways there, and Bubba Pollard takes advantage to reclaim the top.
Now, Augie definitely knows that his car is a little bit loose right now.
And it's one of those situations, as fast as these cars are and as evenly matched as they are, a little bobble puts you a car or two behind.
Oh, yeah, and it puts you a car or two behind. It heats up your tires, makes it easier for the next person to take advantage of you. But this is what we're seeing in all forms of racing right now. Everyone has the same, got a caution.
Caution waving here. Lap number 8 on the board. One car in the wall. Brady Boswell in the 2B has spun up at turn 4 and backed it into the wall. Take another look from Dalton Grindel's onboard camera here. Looks like a little contact perhaps.
Ooh, that's a hard hit. Whenever you start to turn around and then it whips the other way, that's because you overcorrected. That is a hard hit. What we don't want to see driver's side.
On board the Osborne machine, we saw the impact with the outside wall. Looked like maybe Spencer Waters in the 5W. Got a little bit out of shape up in the corner there.
Yeah, Spencer wiggled just a little bit and got up into the other car, and around he went.
We'll be right back at Gresham. From its historic 18th century early settlement to its modern Frisbee golf course, Hurricane Shoals is also one of Georgia's most beautiful natural wonders. Just 5 miles from Gresham Motorsports Park. When you're in the area, be sure and pay a visit to Hurricane Shoals. Welcome back. Coverage of the Sunoco 125 for the Southern Super Series. Super late models in action tonight at Gresham Motorsports Park in Gresham, Georgia. Alongside Ken Schrader, Iverick Benjamin. That's Brady Boswell's car on the hook. Lenny Baticki earlier with a look at what is a super late model.
You're looking at a Southern Super Series pavement super late model race car, about 2,800 pounds, a little over 600, maybe even up to 650 horsepower on bias ply Hoosier tires. This thing will go about 130, maybe even more miles an hour out into corner number 1, average over 100 miles an hour per lap. What a race car.
Lenny Baticki on pit road for us again tonight. We get on board our Goodmark Chevrolet safety car. Our Replay XD onboard looks. Pace car headed in, Ken Schrader. Looks like we're going back to green.
Well, we're going back to green, and we're still very early in this race. So hopefully Augie's got his tires up, air pressure up a little bit, and his car will be a little tighter.
Bubba Pollard on the outside, though, in the Jegs Ford on the high road, trying to retake the top spot. Augie Grill hanging right with him. Reed is 3rd. Bowen is 4th. Good battle for 5th. Daniel Hemrick on the outside of the 98 car wants that position.
I'll tell you what, it just amazes me how all these cars can run that close.
Very fast race cars here on the high-banked half-mile at Gresham Motorsports Park, one of the most beautiful short tracks anywhere in the country. On board with Daniel Hemrick, one of our Replay XD onboard looks, moving into the top 5. Hemrick, a young driver, trying to make his name in the sport. Just in front of him, Anderson Bowen, teenager who's really come a long way in the last several years. 10 laps go up on the board at Gresham Motorsports Park. Time for your Best Line Superior Lubricants running order. Best Line, the ultimate in home, auto, marine, and industrial protection and performance. TJ Reed there in 3rd. Bowen 4th. There's Hemrick. And right behind him, Casey Smith in that 99 doing a nice job in the top 6. Rest of your favorite drivers listed at the top of your screen, courtesy of Best Line Superior Lubricants. How about this, Ken Schrader? 3 cars under a blanket here. It's still Pollard, Grill. Right behind him in the 41. Reed really putting a dogfight on, and now Anderson Bowen starting to sniff 3rd spot.
Oh, if you make that blanket just a little bit bigger, you've got 5 cars underneath there, Rick. So, man, it's just, and everybody's still, even at this point of the race, just a little bit past 10 laps, they don't know exactly what they got yet.
Bubba Pollard with a lot of laps here at Gresham Motorsports Park from this area of Georgia, doing a terrific job tonight. Like Augie Grill in that 112, that number has been around forever. Talked about his dad, Frankie Grill, legendary car builder. Neil Bonner drove Frankie Grill race cars forever back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Oh, yes, he did. And I remember Gary Blue running that number 112 on the dirt and the pavement quite a bit.
On board here again with Daniel Hemrick in the top 5 in the 98. Races out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Just ahead of him, the Copper 29 of Bowen. Again, that fight for the lead. Grill trying to push his way inside. Bubba Pollard seems happy about 2 car widths off the bottom with that 26.
Well, he's given Augie Grill just enough room there to tempt him to go down there. Now, when Augie goes down there, he lays on his tires a little harder, and it uses up his stuff quicker.
Good look from one of our cameras on the outside wall as they exit turn 2. We check back in on that battle for the lead. Meantime, this fight for 8th and 9th. Travis Copen, the best line machine to the bottom. Russell Fleeman, the Fleeman Racing onboard camera here, falling back to 9th. He's another driver with a lot of laps at this place.
Oh, you know, there's a lot of them. This is such a popular track down there that everyone likes to run there as much as they can.
Running hard for the lead, meantime, is Augie Grill in that red 112. Trying to sneak by Bubba Pollard and take the lead back. Pollard says no thanks. They're going to be side by side again in 1 and 2.
I'll tell you what, he's getting up there closer than he's been.
There is nothing to choose between these two in the early going. Now Pollard able to close the deal going down into 3 and retake the top spot. If you're TJ Reed, as we get on board with Augie Grill, the Alabama 200 Montgomery Motor Speedway onboard camera here, if you're sitting back there in 3rd and 4th, you're probably just waiting to see what happens at this point.
You're just looking for a hole.
No question about it. Pollard, your leader. We'll be back at Gresham. Welcome back to the Sunoco 125, the Southern Super Series. Super late models tonight at Gresham Motorsports Park in Jefferson, Georgia, part of the Gresham Summer Series. Glad to have you with us alongside Ken Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. This battle up front has been raging since the drop of the green. A Replay XD onboard look from Bubba Pollard's Jags 26B. Back at Grill, who's now got his hands full with TJ Reed in that black 41.
Well, Augie couldn't get it done on the inside, so TJ's going down there now and take his try.
Casey Smith, meantime, with his hands full. That's Donnie Wilson in the 2W on the bottom, trying to take 6th position away. Wilson hoping to get to the top 5 here. They've got a ways to go to catch the leaders.
Yeah, well, whenever you're racing one another, you're losing time to the leaders. And Bubba's been out there, even though they're challenging, he's just running his lane, making time.
And Bubba Pollard opening up half a dozen car lengths. First time really since the drop of the green we've had either the 26 or the 112 open up any kind of margin.
Well, we saw Bubba running a little lower down there. He's not 2 cars up now. He's running a little lower, which is his fastest line, but he was giving them that inside line.
Bubba Pollard with clean air to work with the Jags 26. That is a Ford. All alone on top after starting on the outside pole. Now Augie Grill, high line off turn 4. Ken, his tires may be starting to give up a little.
Well, and he's also doing the same thing that Bubba was doing to him. He's given TJ enough room down there to wear his stuff out.
TJ Reed in that 41, the GAN Aviation machine, trying to get 2nd spot away from Augie Grill. Anderson Bowen in the white 29 in 4th position. On board again with Daniel Hemrick, his Replay XD camera here, giving you a good look down the backstretch.
Yeah, it's amazing how they've just all shifted back 1 spot. Everyone has the same problem now that they had before.
And if you're Bubba Pollard, you got to be liking this, watching 2nd and 3rd side by side. That gives you a chance to even add more to your lead.
Yeah,
TJ Reed a little loose off of 2.
No, it's the exact same thing we saw before with Augie. First off, these cars want to go out to the wall afterwards. When you bind them up, it's hard on them. Good competitive racing.
No question. Daniel Hemrick in that 98, that blue machine on the bottom. Looking for more, trying to get to the top 3. Anderson Bowen on the outside says no thank you, not at this point anyway. Hemrick able to use the bottom to his advantage.
Saw a little wiggle there at the 29. Let's see if there's something going on there, but the pass was completed.
Hemrick into 4th spot in the 98. Reed is 3rd in the 41. Augie Grill in the 112 running in 2nd position. Bowen has to settle into 5th now in the white 29, the Copper Creek machine.
Yeah, this is smooth sailing for Bubba here, because when he looks back in his mirror and he sees 4 of them trying to figure out who's going to run 2nd, that just makes his life easier, and he's able to put some distance between himself and them.
TJ Reed, meantime, on the 41 car, trying to take 2nd spot away from Augie Grill as they come off turn 4. Now, it looks to me, Ken, as though off of 4, you'd rather be a little higher on the racetrack. 1 and 2, maybe not so much.
Well, you know, we saw Augie just wiggle just a little bit there off of 2. I think he's just plain loose, even at the top. Your car will be a little bit better at the top, not quite as loose up there because it's a bigger radius, but I think he's still just too loose.
On board here with Hemrick, looking back at Anderson Bowen's machine. Donnie Wilson next in line in that red and white 2W. As they come onto the backstretch, here's TJ Reed in the 41 trying to take second spot away. Now, if he can slide Augie Grill up the racetrack, he might get it done.
Yeah, you know, you start running out of patience, and he's finally just going to have to use him up just a little bit. And I don't mean crab. We see the 112 wiggle there again. He's just loose, and but he's still holding everybody up. Well, when you're getting held up, you run out of patience quick.
TJ Reed on the bottom with about a bumper's width of advantage, but right back at him is Grill in the 112. The battle for second raging side by side. All of this working to Bubba Pollard's advantage as he continues to scoot away and add to his lead.
Bubba's just wishing that this was the later stages of the race and that this was going on.
Side by side again for second. Daniel Hemrick says, okay, I'll try the outside lane and see if I can pick up another spot here. He's kind of stuck at the moment. I think he's being held up in that 98.
Oh, he's definitely being held up. You know, you just cannot run as fast when you're racing somebody. And they were using him up a little bit there.
Back on board with Hemrick.
He's got his hands full there too, just getting run into from the back.
You've got a ringside seat at Gresham Motorsports Park in Jefferson, Georgia, among a couple of the best super late model shoes in the country. Grill in the 112, Reed in the 41, Hemrick and Bowen there in the white 29, Wilson in the 2W. Now that battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th starting to catch up to the leaders.
Well, that's because this front group, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, have slowed up, and here comes the next group. That's some of the tightest, best in-car cameras that I have seen in our sport.
Our friends at Replay XD out on the West Coast produce some terrific cameras for this sport. Dalton Grindle's on board. Look here. Now Grindle trying to race his way back toward the top 10, doing a nice job tonight. Let's check back in on the fight for second. Hemrick now has cleared the 41 of Reed. Grill has second in that red 112. Here comes Daniel Hemrick. I don't think he's done tonight at all.
No, I don't think he's done, but wanting these positions and being able to overtake the other car.
Yellow waving here at Gresham Motorsports Park for the second time tonight. Trouble over in turn 2. The 5G goes around. That's Will Gallagher's machine. And it looks like the 13 of Joe Ryan Osborne. Now Osborne carrying one of our Replay XD onboard cameras. Gallagher and Osborne get together. Looks like Osborne got the wall in that black 13.
Yes, we're gonna see something from the camera there because he's definitely one that had the major damage there.
Will Gallagher gets the 5G turned around in the right direction, but the 13 car with some heavy damage. Back on board here with Osborne.
Well, let's see here.
On the outside, oh!
Yeah, we are talking a victim there.
Yeah, that's right. Gallagher went around, and Osborne had nowhere to go.
No place to go.
All right, as we head to a quick break here at Gresham Motorsports Park, we'll show you the top 5. Everybody chasing Bubba Pollard in the Sunoco 125. Located nearby Gresham Motorsports Park in Commerce, Georgia, Gresham fans often play at Phonopolis Family Fun Center. It's North Georgia's largest indoor-outdoor amusement center. Great place to take the kids when you're in the area to visit Gresham Motorsports Park. We're visiting Gresham tonight for the Sunoco 125. Lenny Batiki, we're hearing there may be a competition yellow here in the next couple of dozen laps. How about it?
Officials have notified the teams that between laps 65 and 75, there'll be a competition caution. It'll be 5 caution laps. The teams will be allowed to bolt on 2 brand new right side Hoosier tires, and then they go to the finish of the 125 lapper.
Well, when you find out you're going to get more right sides, then you can burn these up. They don't have to be your friends to the end.
Bubba Pollard may take advantage of that. Green flag is back in the air. Pollard in that black 26, the Jags machine, alongside Augie Grill in the 112. They're back to it side by side. Here's Pollard trying to reestablish the lead.
Well, he's got it established, but boy, this...
Whoa! Bubba Pollard goes up into the gray. And has a problem, evidently. Pollard looks like he's dead stick coming out of turn 4. Yeah, that'll bring out another caution immediately.
Yeah, he's lucky. He's lucky it didn't get turned around. It looked like maybe power shut off or something. It's his own problem. It wasn't caused by anybody else. I mean, no one hit him or anything like that. So it's definitely a mechanical problem. As we see, obviously he gets pushed in. We'll have to see if he can get it going again.
So the Jags.com Ford of Bubba Pollard on pit road. He had dominated the first 40 laps or so here tonight. That sets up a restart. Hemrick in the 98, Grill in the 112, and the green flag reappears. And Augie Grill just says, hey, see you later, boys. I'm going to take this one over.
Well, you know, and Augie was able to hold everybody off when he had the whole racetrack and was running the top two. So we'll see if he can continue to do that. But I'm still thinking that he's going to want to tighten that car up when he does get that competition yellow,
which is coming up midway or so here tonight between laps 65 and 75, as Lenny Baticki just told us. Now, Daniel Hemrick into second spot. Hemrick was being held up earlier. Side by side a little further back, that's Donnie Wilson in the 2W, TJ Reed in the black 41 car. Let's get on board with Hemrick here as he tries to challenge for the lead.
Yeah, I think he is challenging. He's down in there.
Bottom of the racetrack for Hemrick. We've seen this movie before, the battle between Grill and Pollard. Earlier, Pollard held the high side. Now Augie Grill says, okay, I'll take that upper lane. You can see that's where more rubber is on the racetrack, and he goes up the racetrack.
Yeah, Augie's car's been plain old loose. I mean, just plain loose. It's a fine line up there as we see that black, and then there's gray. Well, if you hang the right rear in that gray, you're in trouble.
You may be headed to the wall, and you didn't plan on doing that.
Well, you're definitely going to be turning right for a while you get things gathered back up. We see the front brake rotors glowing red there.
And Donnie Wilson in the 2W slipping a little coming off turn 4. Rubs on the 99 of Casey Smith as they fight for fifth. That gives Wilson the position. Meantime, what happened to early race leader Bubba Pollard? Looks like he's done for the night, huh, Lenny?
Bubba, what happened? This is a brand new race car we brought here, and just electrical issue, wiring problem or something. Just car filled full of smoke, lost power. But I hate it for my guys. Man, we had a good race car tonight. That JX Ford had some power underneath the hood too with that Hamner racing engine. So I hate it. I think we had a shot to maybe win the race.
Bubba and his team are very well prepared. We got another car off the pace here.
Casey Smith, who was in that little skirmish with Donnie Wilson a few moments ago, looks like he's lost power. He drops to the bottom of the racetrack going into turn 1. So he was running in 6th. Let's get on board with Augie Grill, the Alabama 200 Replay XD onboard look as he chases Anderson Bowen there in the 29.
Anderson's car is good and tight, be able to launch up off that turn and get away from Augie just a little bit there.
Fighting for position behind Daniel Hemrick in the 98, who's out in front right now with Bubba Pollard's retirement. Hemrick looks pretty stout. Casey Smith takes the Smith excavating car down off the racetrack safely behind the barrier. Top 5 positions are still up for grabs here at Gresham Motorsports Park, Jefferson, Georgia. Time for our Racing Radio's halfway rundown. Racing Radio's the first and still the best at two-way communications equipment for the racing industry worldwide. Keep track of your favorite driver. Wilson in 5th. Kyle Gresham, Steve's son. Haven't seen much of him tonight in the 31, up to 6th. Waters in 7th, Richie's son Sheldon in 7th, Travis Cope, Mike Cope's son in 8th. Got some second generation guys. There's young Casey Roderick and Dalton Grindle rounding out your first 10. On track, meantime, Grill and Reed fighting for position in the top 5.
It's amazing what those kids can learn all those years up in the grandstands watching. I mean, they just learn a lot.
And you've coached a lot of these young drivers yourself, Ken Trader, with your ARCA team and your short track efforts. Some of these young guys are sponges out there, aren't they? They just soak everything up.
Oh, they really are. I mean, just everything they see and everything they hear, they retain, and they know when to apply it.
Augie Grill in the 112, TJ Reed in the 41, young veterans in this sport. Race leader is Daniel Hemrick, a young gun as well. Cross flag shown the field a moment ago, so we're past halfway now in the Sunoco 125 for the Southern Super Series here at Gresham Motorsports Park. Alongside Ken Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin, Lenny Baticki with our coverage tonight down on pit road. Glad to have you with us. The Jubilee 98 of Hemrick. As always, check out the schedule and more at Gresham Motorsports Park, the track's website, racegmp.com. Coming up, the World Crown 300 for these super late models later this summer. We'll have coverage in a 2-hour telecast. It'll be coming your way on many of these same affiliates around the country. Still Grill in the 112, Reed in the 41. Man, they've been just side by side for dozens of laps here.
It's just that competitive a racing. I'd like to go back to Bubba just for a second because we had a little problem there, but you know, they had a little small electrical problem with a brand new car, but just think that one little problem ruined their day, but they put a brand new car, came out here and ran like they did, so it's just rough for them.
That speaks to how good the race team is when you can do that. Roll one off the hauler and have it be that fast.
Yes, getting the job done.
Donnie Wilson in the 2W, meantime, solidly in the top 5. Let's get on board with Augie Grill, the Montgomery Motor Speedway onboard camera from Replay XD. There's the 41 of Reed to the bottom, the GAN Aviation car. Looks like Reed's going to get by him and pick up the position.
That's when your spotter says clear, and when you've been working on someone that long, that's a very comforting word to hear.
You like hearing that, don't you?
You like hearing that. Oh, we got another one up in there.
Donnie Wilson taking a sniff to the bottom here, trying to get by Augie Grill's machine as well. Grill, you mentioned it earlier, Ken. He's been loose all night. Working that high line, that's not to his advantage, is it?
No, but it's the best option he has right now because he's not tight enough to stay on the bottom.
So Augie Grill fades back to 5th spot. Ken Schrader, that competition yellow's got to be coming up here soon. It's going to be Augie Grill's best friend.
It's going to be his best friend, and right now, being he knows that yellow's coming, ease up on his lefts. You know, save them a little bit.
Anderson Bowen not saving anything, trying for the lead as the competition yellow waves here at Gresham Motorsports Park. So these teams will have 5 laps under the caution to change those right side tires.
And make a much needed chassis adjustment.
A lot of these guys can't wait, I'm sure. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Gresham Motorsports Park, the Sunoco 125 Southern Super Series event tonight for super late models. Alongside Ken Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin. While we were away, leader Daniel Hemrick stopping, getting new tires, making some adjustments to that 98 car. He's got Anderson Bowen lining up alongside him in that white 29.
Well, we've seen that outside lane, though, be the preferred lane on those restarts and the initial start, so we'll have to see what happens here. But boy, the 29 car was coming on, the Bowen was coming on good at the end.
No question about that. TJ Reed restarts at 3rd. Wilson 4th. Green flag is back in the air after 5 laps of competition yellow tonight at Gresham Motorsports Park. They are 2 by 2 by 2, and Hemrick in that blue and white 98 reestablishes the point, diving down into turn 3.
There's your blanket again.
No
That's
question.
for sure.
Yeah, they are tight, tight, tight. Bowen right on the deck lid of Hemrick's car. Let's get on board with Augie Grill. Grill had fallen back to 5th. Ken Schrader, of all the drivers among the top 5, he probably needed that pit stop the most.
Well, he definitely needed it. Hopefully he got his car where he wanted, but he gave up that track position. Of course, he had already faded back to the 5th, so he's where he was. Hopefully he got it right.
Travis Cope in the Best Buy Lubricants 26. Mike Cope's son riding 6th right now. Hemrick is your leader. Bowen is 2nd. The 2W, Donnie Wilson had that little skirmish with Casey Smith earlier. Smith done for the night. Wilson didn't bother him at all. He's up into 3rd spot, but the top 2 starting to open up a little bit of a gap here.
Well, we see Bowen there, kind of, he's inside of the 98, but he's not way down there trying to make that pass every turn. So I think that he's just kind of conservative stuff, knowing he's still got 50 laps to get it done.
You've still got plenty of time here, and I would think that's the point. You want to be close to the leader. You don't necessarily need to race him that hard right now, do you?
No, you don't need to do it right now. You just got to be ahead of him at the end.
That's it. Money laps the last lap. On board with Hemrick again. Our Replay XD onboard views, courtesy of our friends at Replay XD. Go to replayxd.com. Find out more. Taking a look out the back end of this race car at the Copper Creek Hardware 29. Now, right before the halfway break, or the caution, we should say, Hemrick had his hands full. Bowen had gotten right alongside of him. Now Hemrick has about a 1 car length advantage, and Donnie Wilson right there in the 2W.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how close they run. And for some reason, it just really shows from these in-cars how close they're running.
On the front straightaway, right underneath the flag stand, you get a sense of how fast these super late models are as well. On board the Fleeman Racing onboard camera, the 98F for Russell Fleeman gives up a spot on the bottom of the racetrack there. Russell Fleeman having trouble staying in touch with the leaders tonight.
He's definitely not having the night he was hoping for.
No question about that as they work the backstretch down into turn 3. Hemrick, your leader in the 98. Bowen in the 29 starting to close in now. Anderson Bowen with that bottom line. The change in banking here at Gresham Motorsports Park, Ken Schrader, maybe that's giving young Anderson Bowen some fits as he comes up off 4.
Well, we've seen before, you want to be able to use up that whole racetrack like he was that time. But whenever you're down inside someone, you can't use it up. But I'll tell you what, Anderson Bowen has just crept forward all night long.
Been very, very steady and fast in the 29, as has TJ Reed in the Gann Aviation car. Started 4th, challenged early for 2nd and for the lead. He settled in nicely at 4th as that lead battle rages.
Well, we saw earlier in the race, so you could be running 6th, but you're challenging for 2nd.
As tight as they're running here at Gresham Motorsports Park, no doubt about it. High speed place, high banked half mile, great competition here always, and the fans have a great experience when they come to Gresham Motorsports Park. The amenities are terrific here, great place to come and test, to race, or just to watch one of these events. Let's get on board with Dalton Grindle in the 23, his Replay XD onboard look as he sits 12th here tonight.
You know, you kind of got to put in your mind here too that we ran 75 laps on the tires. Now this time we're only going to run 50 on new right side, so you got to play it all together different as far as how hard you attack the track.
Daniel Hemrick very strong in that 98. He's been very patient tonight out of Mooresville in North Carolina. The JubileeGatherings.com entry. Anderson Bowen in the Copper Creek Hardware 29 car. Wilson in the 2W. Like that Donnie Wilson machine, Hemrick's car the same. They're wearing new Ford Fusion nose pieces on the Fords in the field tonight.
Good looking cars. Oh, we see like patience is maybe starting to run out there just a little bit. It's time to go.
Could look that way. Anderson Bowen with a Ford as well. He's got the older Fusion nose on that car, starting to sneak up underneath the back bumper of the 98.
Yeah, when you're driving the 98, you don't care what nose it is, older or newer, jammed up behind you. You just wish it wasn't there.
You're just thinking about racing this racetrack and keeping your spot at the head of the class tonight here at Gresham Motorsports Park. And Daniel Hemrick has been out in front. Bowen in 2nd. 3rd is Wilson as they work some lap traffic here tonight in this Southern Super Series event. I want to take my hat off to the Southern Super Series as well. They'll sanction the World Crown 300 coming up here in a few weeks. They bring a terrific field of super late models to any racetrack they come to throughout the Southeast.
Well, they sure definitely brought a good field here, and I know they've had a good, strong schedule for just starting up like they did last year. 2nd
season for the series, 15 events. It'll determine a late model champion in the southeastern United States. Some of the best race car drivers in the country come and run these events. Anderson Bowen trying to make a name for himself in the sport, still a teenager in that Copper Creek machine right in behind Hemrick, who's a young gun as well. Hemrick in the 98 car trying to hang on to the top spot.
That was big right there when he was able to turn down and get a run underneath him. We'll have to see if he can complete it or not, but his car is working extremely good.
Anderson Bowen, though, unable to make it stick on the bottom of the racetrack. It still looks to me as though you want to be about a car width off the bottom to be fast.
Right, but I'm very impressed with Anderson here that he goes down, he tries it, he does it. If he doesn't get it done, he gets back up and rides for a little bit.
And now we've got kind of the reverse of what we talked about earlier in the show. If you're the 3rd place man, Donnie Wilson, you love seeing those top 2 go side by side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you love seeing them go side by side, grind their stuff up. But at some point, you still got to have a lane to go someplace.
Got to make a move as the laps start to wind down tonight here at Gresham Motorsports Park. Daniel Hemrick is still in command of the 98. Anderson Bowen runs 2nd. Donnie Wilson closing in 3rd. Your 4th place car, TJ Reed out of Georgia in that 41 car. Trying to get close to these leaders. Some side-by-side racing might give him a chance to get back in the mix here.
Well, you know, we're kind of seeing the better handling cars able to distance themselves a little bit now. TJ Reed's obviously working good, but he can't keep up by himself. They've been able to get away from him, so he's probably not in the same category they are right now.
Hemrick and Bowen still nose to tail. They've been side by side many different times here tonight in this 125-lapper at Gresham Motorsports Park. Great place to come with the family. A lot of campers parked around this racetrack as well. Pretty much packed house around the outside perimeter of this half-mile racetrack. A lot of fans in the grandstands here tonight and in the infield as well for Southern Super Series late model action. The Sunoco 125 tonight here at Gresham Motorsports Park. Bowen in that white 29 car still working the low side.
He's good. He's just waiting for that opportunity, I believe. I mean, I think if they were both going out to qualifier right now, he would be faster.
Donnie Wilson, TJ Reed, Augie Grill rounding out your top 5 at Gresham. Welcome back to Gresham Motorsports Park in Jefferson, Georgia. Earlier tonight, we had a chance to kind of take a look around this half-mile facility. We talked about fans packing this place with their campers, enjoying some grilled food and some cold beverages, getting ready to go racing here tonight. Gresham will again sell trackside parking passes in 2015. Trackside parking, a huge fan favorite. Limited to cars, regular-sized trucks, and vans. No oversized vehicles there. Each person inside the vehicle needs a general admission ticket. Go to racegmp.com and find out more. For third spot at Gresham Motorsports Park, Augie Grill and Travis Cope in the Best Line Lubricants 2016. Oh, he thinks he's on dirt, Ken Schrader.
It looked like he was on dirt. It looked like he was going to roll around the outside of Augie, but didn't get it done.
Meantime, the top two continue to fight. Daniel Hemrick in the 98, Anderson Bowen in the 29, the Copper Creek Hardware entry. I'm starting to think that these two are going to settle this one tonight.
It looks like it, but, you know, we never know. With the late race caution or something could definitely change it. But the only problem I got is next time you guys go looking at food, let me know. I'm starting to get hungry.
We got to get to these races a little earlier. Our Best Line Lubricants running order, top of your screen. If you want more horsepower, ultimate protection, and maximum fuel economy, try Best Line Superior Lubricants today. Top 5, Augie Grill rounding out the first 5, and then Travis Cope 6th. Change of position just a moment ago. Kyle Grissom in 7th. Casey Roderick is 8th. Harrison Burton, Jeff's son in that 12 car in 9th, up in the top 10 now. And Kling in the 68, rounding out the top 10 in front of Spencer Waters in that 5W. You know that's good equipment. Anderson Bowen gunning for the top spot again off of turn 2. Starting to run out of time tonight here at Gresham Motorsports Park.
Well, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And it almost looks like it might be time to use 8 tires instead of 4.
Anderson Bowen wants the lead. Daniel Hemrick has had the top spot all to himself for the last 50 laps or so here at Gresham Motorsports Park. Still the leader by just half a car length.
This is just good, tight
Whoa!
racing. Yeah,
Man.
It's going to get tight. It already is tight.
Very fast super late model competition at Gresham Motorsports Park. Anderson Bowen on the bottom of the racetrack from the Atlanta area. Daniel Hemrick out of North Carolina. They are nose to tail side. They've been working each other over for the last couple of dozen laps.
But you saw Anderson do it again. He went down there. He spent 2.5 laps down the bottom. He didn't get it done. He wiggled a little bit, and he got back up.
Inside 20 laps to go tonight here at Gresham Motorsports Park in the Sunoco 125. Daniel Hemrick, I'm sure, hearing his spotter say he's there, huh?
Yeah, you know, you could feel the heat off his headers. You didn't really need a spotter for that. You could see him out of your peripheral vision for sure.
Coming up on the lap 56 car, let's get on board with Hemrick as replay XD onboard camera. Now lap traffic could be a factor tonight.
Well, lap traffic is good for Daniel because they're on the inside, he's running the outside. It takes the line away from Anderson.
Young Matt Craig driving that CNC Boiler 54. That's a familiar race car and number combination out of the Charlotte, North Carolina area as well. And here comes Bowen in the white 29 car on the bottom, still trying to take the lead away from Daniel Hemrick, with Craig in the 54 up ahead.
See how when Bowen went in the turn that time, he wasn't quite as concerned about staying down the bottom. That just comes with the late race tactics.
Just a couple of caution flags tonight, plus the competition yellow. You haven't had many opportunities to work the cautions to your advantage. Bowen side by side for the lead with Hemrick with 10 laps to go tonight.
I don't think we could ask for any better racing than this. This is tight.
No doubt about it. Lap traffic could be a factor here as the laps wind down. There'll be 9 to go this time by. Hemrick in the blue 98 still the leader. Oh, a little contact. Bowen a little bit loose through 3 and 4.
How many times tonight have we seen the inside car get loose when he's jammed up on the inside trying to make that pass? Now he loses 3 car lengths here at least. Let's see how long he can run it takes to run him down. We know he's faster, but then can he still get the pass done?
Hemrick using that second line. Bowen will tuck in behind him to try to reel him in. It almost looks to me as though Hemrick's car isn't rolling through the center of the corners as well anymore.
Well, I don't think anybody's is rolling as good as anymore. We've got over 140 laps on these left side tires, and we have used the heck out of the right side in this last 40-something laps.
And look there at Donnie Wilson in the 2W. Great drive tonight for Wilson. Has not yet contended for the lead, but he's picked up 9 spots from where he lined up in this one. Coming up on 5 laps to go tonight as Wilson clears the lap car as well, and he may sniff an opportunity here.
Well, he sees an opportunity for a big wiggle between those two. Now, we still got a car length left between them, and that's 3 laps since his wiggle, so he's just a little faster.
Oh, Travis Cope and Augie Grill get together. Cope in the Best Line Lubricants car, who started 5th and gotten back into the top 5, almost got the outside wall, somehow managed to save it. Let's take another look here. Grill gets underneath and gives him a little help, it looks like.
Yeah, he did get the outside wall, and he did have a lot of help. That was a little bit ugly, but I bet something went on before that.
Could have been. Maybe a little payback there. You never know. 5 laps to go tonight at Gresham Motorsports Park. 5 to go for Hemrick in the 98. Bowen in the 29, and Bowen's there again.
He is right there, but he's been right there for a number of laps. But I think the aggressiveness is going to be at a different level now.
Anderson Bowen knows he's running out of time to get the deal done if he wants the victory in the Sunoco 125 for the Southern Super Series late model action here tonight at Gresham Motorsports Park. Hemrick would love a victory tonight as well. Hemrick has been in control for a long time. Here comes Bowen once more.
Hemrick is hoping that Bowen will get loose one more time like he did before and just buy him a little time.
Hemrick using that outside line, which seems to work better. It seems to give you a better drive off of the 4th corner, and you may need that when the white flag waves. Bowen a little wiggle out of 2 that time.
I'll tell you what, I got to believe he's saving something.
Anderson Bowen trying to size up the race leader. Bowen pokes the nose of the 29 to the bottom one more time. Here they race down into turn 1.
They're racing clean, though. Well,
Yeah.
I'll give them that. They are racing clean.
You've pointed it out. Anderson Bowen has been, I mean, you couldn't have gotten a sheet of paper between those two cars a couple of times earlier tonight, and there's been no contact at all between the 98 and the 29. White flag in the air, 1 to go. And Bowen on the bottom. Looks like he may get it done this time, Ken Schrader. He clears Hemrick.
That surprised me. How quick? Let's see, though. Let's see.
Hemrick can't do it. Hemrick tries the dive bomb. He will not get it done. Anderson Bowen with a last lap pass is your winner tonight at Gresham Motorsports Park in the Sunoco 125. Daniel Hemrick leads up to 1 to go. Bowen sails by him. We'll come back and talk to the winner. Our coverage today is being brought to you by Replay XD. Check out the all-new 1080 mini camera at replayxd.com. And by Racing Electronics, your #1 source for professional race communications worldwide. racingelectronics.com. Back at Gresham Motorsports Park, Jefferson, Georgia. Anderson Bowen, the winner tonight in the Sunoco 125 in the Copper Creek Hardware Machine. Here's the winning pass.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised here. Anderson drives down on the inside and completes the pass in 1 turn. He had spent 30 laps trying to get around him and did it in 1 turn.
Anderson Bowen coming out of the car, victorious. Anderson, you worked and worked him. Tell me about that last lap move.
Man, that was definitely one in the books right there. It's just he got tight right there, and I just took advantage of that and just drove right underneath him and we had really good drive that last session. So that really helped us. You know, the crew did a phenomenal job in getting to the car where we needed to be. So I just can't thank them enough.
How did you know that was the lap? You worked him a lot of other times and then finally pulled the trigger.
You know, he really just washed up the nose up there and just really got in the marbles, and I really set him up really good, I feel like, and just had to take that last advantage, and I feel like we did, and I feel like that's what it's just all about right there.
How big is it to win here at Gresham?
It's huge. You know, it's our home track, and first Southern Super Series win ever, and our home track is phenomenal, and just can't thank all the supporters that came out here, all the fans that came out and watched, and the team did a phenomenal job. Just like to thank Mark, Jonathan, Ricky, John Morgan, Jeff, my dad, my mom, my sister for coming out here and just support me.
Go party.
Thank you.
Ken Schrader, I think that kind of said it all, that Daniel Hemrick really didn't have anything he could do about it.
No, I mean, and the fact there's no contact, you know, and there was a 2 feet between the cars, so it was just good racing.
Absolutely great racing. Our final results presented by Schoenfeld Headers, providing circle track racers with industry standard headers and accessories since 1974. Brady Boswell had a tough night tonight. He has to settle for 23rd. Let's talk to our runner-up. Daniel Hemrick is with Lenny.
Tough way to lose that one. What was it like out there?
That's just a hard short track battle. So that's about as hard as we go. 50 qualifying laps right there at the end. Congratulations to Ricky Turner. Anderson Bowen's been beating on the victory circle door all year. So it's cool to see those guys get the victory lane. I wish we could have, but just can't thank Jake and Indiana Cars well enough for the opportunity. We needed to run like this. Can't thank Jubilee Conferences, JRI Shocks, Jacqueline's Beef Jerky. Everybody makes it still possible. This is it's cool to get to come out here and run. Wish we could be in victory circle, but one spot short.
Daniel Hemrick has to settle for second. Gracious in the runner-up position here tonight. Anderson Bowen now the points leader after 9 races in the Southern Super Series presented by Sunoco. Ken Schrader, great night of racing here at Gresham Motorsports Park.
Excellent night of racing, and boy, we saw some tight points battle there.
And that points battle will be rejoined here at Gresham in a few weeks in the World Crown 300. We'll have a 2-hour telecast of that great event coming up a little later this summer season. Go to racegmp.com for all the information about this beautiful Gresham Motorsports Park. For Ken Schrader and Lenny Baticki, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating Anderson Bowen.